See if anybody comes on. It is 7 minutes late, and I'm hoping it's public. I did not schedule tonight. I was planning on doing it, but I didn't schedule it. I was absolutely exhausted today. Okay, I just got notification that I am live, so I'm going to wait a couple of minutes and see if anybody else got the same notification, and perhaps you'll join me. So we'll see what happens. I did put out the short today. Somebody came in. Hello, Rosie. Yeah, I didn't schedule tonight. I meant to, but it was a crazy day, and I never quite got to scheduling it. So I'm waiting to see if a few more people come in and we can get started, and we will take it from there. I hope they do. How is the world treating you, Rosie? Nice to see you here. I really should have scheduled it. Okay, somebody else has joined in as well. So it was just a little bit of a strange day today. Well, let me wait a little while before I get into anything because there are only 2 people here right now, and I'm not sure who the second one is because it's not showing up. So if you care to identify yourself, say hi. Yeah, my intention definitely was to schedule it, but the day got away from me. It was just a crazy day. And I was left in the end feeling so tired that I really couldn't do a whole lot, couldn't even work. And then it started to rain a little bit, so that was it. Had a birthday today. Oh, happy birthday. Yeah, I know. How can it be? It creeps up on us. But look at the alternative. Did you get to celebrate the day at all? It's a good thing. It really is a good thing. It gets a little more challenging the older we get. We have more things to deal with, but it's always good to be here. At least, until we know for sure what the alternative brings us. I suspect it's going to be a wonderful adventure, but who knows? So, for the time being, I'm going to be perfectly happy to be here. I wanted to get my car washed today. My car is so dirty. You did? Oh, that's a wonderful thing. Everyone who matters came through. That's a wonderful thing. I know when I had my birthday just a short time ago, I guess about a week or so ago, a little bit more, it was wonderful how many people were there to celebrate with me, whether they could be with me physically or were just there and wishing me well. So that's good. And yeah, and I got to see my grandson twice right around the time of my birthday. So that in itself was a gift. Talking about that, by the way, I went to see my neighbor the other day and we had a really nice chat. And while we were sitting there, she brought out some wonderful little cakes. And she asked me if I wanted to have something. I really didn't. I was kind of sitting and I did have a cold drink. But when I left, I took one of the little cakes with me. I wish I am also a Leo, you bet. David is doing really well. I'm hoping he comes into New York really soon, and I'm hoping to do a video with him when he's here. I don't know if he's aware of that fully yet, but I definitely would like to do that because I enjoy doing it with him, and he's so great to talk to because, thanks a lot, by the way, for the birthday wishes. Yeah, David's doing great. He's working on a couple of things that keep him really busy. He also just got a new car, and that's really funny. So his ex-wife said to him, that it was his midlife crisis car. And the first thing I said to him was, I said, oh, I said, that car looks like your middle-aged guy trying to look younger car. I guess that in essence is the same thing. Now, if I could only remember what the car is, it is a two-seater Mazda, I want to say MX or something like that. I will say for what it is, I mean, it kind of reminds me of the cars that they had in old Hollywood with the two-seater cars with the soft top. And he got it in a beautiful color. It's a dark blue, and it has a tan leather interior. And I think it's interesting because when David was growing up and I was seeing Bill at that time had a beautiful Jaguar in a navy blue with a tan interior. And I think David fell in love with it, and it kind of stayed with him all these years. So he really likes it a lot. And yeah, he's excited about the car. And I said to him, I said, you have two kids. You can only take one at a time. But he said typically if he did take more than one of them, they would go in his son's car. But yeah, no, it's good. So I really was surprised that he got something other than a Tesla, because he did love his Tesla, but he's loving this. You didn't get any notification? Oh, Rosie, actually, I typically do come on a little bit ahead and schedule the lives. I am planning on doing a live every Wednesday night at 8:30 Eastern Time. If I am not going to be able to do it, I will try to let you know ahead of time. But count on that time, every Wednesday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So I think that, that might make it a little bit easier. But I mean, it was interesting today. I had to go to get my car charged. I didn't really have to get it charged. I wanted to get it washed. It's disgusting. It's really disgusting. It needs a good wash. The place that I used to take it to closed, and they apparently sold to another company, and they're going to be reopening it soon, but they haven't opened yet. So I've kind of been waiting, but it definitely needs it. So I went out and I did decide I might as well, get the car charged in the meanwhile. So I did that. It really didn't need it today because I started out, I think I was at about 45% when I got the car charged, somewhere around that. And I had gone up to 90% because I figured the car is definitely using more juice during the summer, I'm sure, to cool the cabin and all of the other things that it has to do. So it's using it faster. With all of it, given that, it's still a bargain as far as I can see, because it typically runs me anywhere from $10 to $16 a charge. Today was high 12s, I think maybe 12.70 something like that. Wow, that's interesting. 12.70 was my address when I was a little girl of the apartment building I lived in, so that's funny. But I went to the charge place, and I like to kind of walk around my car a little bit while it's charging and try to wipe off some of the bird poop. The birds love my cars, all my cars, it doesn't matter. And it's gross with that stuff on the car. So I took off as much as I could, and then I went back and sat in the car. And then I noticed an older man coming over toward my car, and he came over to me and he started talking to me. And he asked me how I liked the car. And if I was enjoying it, or was I disappointed, or was there anything about the car that I didn't like. I believe the car that he was driving at the moment is an Acura of some kind. I think it was an SUV, but he was thinking of getting a new car. He started to tell me his whole life story, which happens some of the time. I'm sure it happens to all of you some of the time. But he started to tell me that he was, well, I don't know if newly single is a good way to put it, because he said he was separated for a long time, but that he was officially divorced at this point, and he just wanted to get himself a new nice car. So I said there are so many nice cars on the market. He had talked about having. I keep having these scam calls about people trying to give me loans. It drives me crazy. They call me maybe 30 times a day. It really makes me crazy. Anyway, he was telling me that he really was thinking of getting a hybrid, that he had heard a lot of good things about them. And I said, yeah, I like the hybrids. I think it's a great idea. Really good on gas mileage, a lot of them. I know the one that I was considering was, I think it got 49 miles to the gallon, and that was incredible. The problem was when I went to test drive it, the car dropped dead on me after I drove it about 6 blocks. So I was not inclined to get that car. I mean, in truth, I had said to the salesperson at the dealership, I said, it's reading that it's on empty. And she said to me, oh no, it's not. Just take it and go. I really think it was empty. So I think that's what happened. But I was sitting on the side of the road on a very hot day and not able to go anywhere. I had to wait for them. They actually were having to tow the car because it wouldn't go at all. And somebody came and took me back to the dealership. But that ruled that car out for me effectively. So yeah, I'm still perfectly fine with my choice, although today another scary thing happened with the car. I was going to pick up some food, and I went from a parking space. I went to the corner, waited for the light to change, made a left turn. I went maybe 200 feet. I don't think I went that far. And traffic stopped. So I was waiting for it to start up again. And I go to start the car up. Nothing happens. The car wouldn't go. I was not in gear. And when I wasn't in gear, I could not. Normally, what happens with this car is if you put your foot on the brake and turn the steering wheel in the other direction, it will either go forward or in reverse. Didn't work. Nothing worked. There were cars sitting behind me, honking at me and looking at me like, the light changed, go. Well, I would love to go, but the car didn't want to go. So I was stuck, and I finally, thank God, the car also has the display on the top where you can shift gears that way. So it gives you that other option if you don't do it on the screen. And I hate doing it on the screen for a number of reasons. When it's on the screen, it doesn't always work for me. You're swiping it the way you would swipe on a phone or whatever, and it just did not. There is this tiny little bug that's flying around. I just threw my garbage out, so it might have come back in the house with me. But it's this tiny little thing that's making me feel cross-eyed. So it was really strange that that thing happened, but once I got started again, it was fine, and it didn't happen again. I did notice later that I must have been sitting at a light, and the left and right turn signals are arrows on the left side of the steering wheel. And I must have leaned on it while I was waiting for, or rested my hand on it, probably more accurately, while I was waiting for the light to change. And a notice came up and it said they noticed a long press on that button and that I should not do that so it could go back to normal functioning. And I thought, what? What? You know, sometimes you don't want to fix what's not broken. Cars work perfectly fine with gear shifts. They work perfectly fine with the gear shift on the console. I've had that. I've had it by push button on the console. I've had it on, on the gear shift on the steering wheel, and they all work. This, on very rare occasions, does not work, but it's enough to make me crazy. So I would, as I said, I would never, ever get a car without stalks again. Fortunately, though, for Tesla buyers, they do have the new ones came out with the stock again. So I think they got enough feedback that was not good that possibly they're headed in that direction again, which would be a smart move. I was amazed, though, when that guy came over to me to talk about Teslas. I get a different sense of how people are reacting to the car these days than the way they were when Elon Musk was in Washington, because it doesn't seem to be as emotionally charged as it was before. It doesn't seem to be the kind of thing where people want to start a fight about it, or they have things to say about your political leanings if you are interested in this car or have this car or whatever. I'm not getting that sense anymore, at least here in my neck of the woods. So I don't know how it is wherever in the world you happen to be, but let me know if you have noticed anything with it. I think a lot of that stuff with people wanting to do damage to the cars seems to have let up, at least I hope. But I haven't heard anything about it lately, so I tend to think that might be the case. So, oh, someone just sent a message. Yeah, so as I say, it's been a long day for me, and I'm trying to do way too much. I'm trying to do way too much outside, at home, with YouTube, with trying to sell stuff, with trying to get the house ready. It's really too much, and it's hard for me to sustain it, but I'm doing the best I can. So all I can do is do whatever the day allows me and just take it from there. I think tonight, because I am, number one, exhausted, and I did the short. I don't know if anybody saw that, but I'm planning to do some of those, just some little thoughts that I've had about life and the way we tend to react in it. So yeah, I'm going to try to do that as well. And again, my biggest issue with the regular videos is the editing process that takes time. And I really just haven't had the time to put it all together. But I definitely want to do it. There are 3 that I have in the queue that would be ready to go, but I need to finish the editing process. So I'm going to try to get that done as well as I can. The whole Tesla thing, yeah, I think so. I think it is much less politicized. Yeah. Yes, I agree with you. Much, much too much divisiveness. And I think what the world needs is a little bit of kindness. I think if each one of us can just go out there every day, take a look at somebody out there and just do something kind, whether it's to smile at somebody, whether it's to say, how are you? Do you need any help? I think the world would be a better place. I have to tell you, since I started walking with the cane, people have been so kind so much of the time. After the surgery, I found it difficult to walk outside, or maybe in reality, not so much difficult to walk as I have a fear of falling. So I prefer to walk with the cane so that I have that little bit of extra support and it makes me feel better. And aside from one person who said to me, "They let you do this?" Aside from that, people have been absolutely wonderful. So I'm grateful for it. And I think given half a chance, there is a lot of good in a lot of people. It's just sometimes hard to see because there are so many challenging things that we face every single day. Oh, I have to get back to what I started out in the beginning telling you. When I went to visit my friend and we sat and we were talking, she had brought out these cakes. I didn't taste the cake until I got out into my car. I wish I had taken a picture of it. They are very small. They're like this round, it's like little cupcakes is what it looks like. The company, I believe, is called Nothing Bundt Cakes. And they are delicious, incredibly delicious. The consistency of the cake itself, whatever it is they mix into it, the topping, and the little size of it is just perfect because it's enough. It just is enough. So I would love to, the next time I have someplace to go, I would love to bring that. They have a selection where it is 12 of these little things for $30, which sounds like a lot considering they're relatively small, but I think it's really not, since one is definitely enough. They had 4 basic flavors, as I recall. Lemon, which is the one I chose, and I would get a whole box of lemon. I think they had white chocolate raspberry was a second one. They had red velvet cake was a third, and I forgot what the fourth one was. But every one of them looked good. They got wonderful reviews from people saying that it was delicious. And they do have other flavors as well. They have seasonal flavors as well. So I'm looking for some place to go so I can bring it. So if there's anybody local here in New York and you want to invite me over, you're sure to get some good cake. But I think, yeah, it was really nice and totally unexpected. So that was great. And yeah, I think lost my train of thought again. I'm just trying to get my house ready to get it on the market before the market changes. I sense a change coming in the market, and I don't think it's far away. I think for people who are looking to buy, I think it's a great time to wait. For people who are looking to sell, I think it's a great time to sell now, because I really don't think that these prices are going to be sustained for much longer. So I think there's good in it for everybody. But I think there definitely is. I am tired, guys. I just don't think that I can do this long today. I think I'm going to have to pick it up next Wednesday because I've got some things I need to finish tonight, and I am really tired. So forgive me, and I know it's really short I usually like to run about an hour, but I can't do it tonight unless there's anything specific you want to talk about, or if you want me to focus on anything specific next time, let me know, and I'll certainly try to do that. But yeah, otherwise, I just kind of fly by the seat of my pants and just talk about whatever is going on in my life in that given moment. And for right now, it's tiring, but it's okay. Aside from that, I'm not going to focus on anything negative. I think it's important to focus on the positive and try to build yourself up and build other people up so that you make life easier for somebody else. Okay, on that note, I am going to end it tonight, and I am going to pick it up again next week. So forgive me, I know this is not the way it typically goes, but I'm just beat. Yeah, I'm doing as well as I can, Rosie. I'm doing as well as I can. There's just way too much on my plate right now, and it's hard to focus a lot of attention on any one of the things because there are too many. So that's my story. Okay, so I will see you next week, and hopefully I'll get to put out one of the regular videos before then, and I'm hoping to put out 1 or 2 other shorts before that as well. So take care, everybody. I'm glad you came by to say hello. I have a lot more that I usually would talk about, but you may sit here watching me fall asleep. Take care, everybody, and I'll see you next week.